on Swift UI and iOS 16 using Xcode 14.0.1. In the previous part, in part 1, we looked at navigation stack and navigation link. This was the app for Unicorn app, and in this part we're going to look at navigation path and programmatic navigation. So let's look at some of the code here. In part 1 we used navigation stack, but in part 2 we'll still use a navigation stack with the path parameter. To pass the path parameter we need a state variable, so we'll create the state variable and the state variable is going to be an array of string. Now inside the navigation stack we can pass path as a state variable using binding, and the closure is the trailing closure is the second parameter. Now inside the list we need a button to navigate to. In this case we're going to call it the engine room from Among Us. So now we have a button which says navigate to engine room, and it has the path engine room appended to the path array. So we can click here and it goes to engine room. In the next step we can look at popping back to the previous root view. So if we have our default destination here, we can command click to embed it in a VStack, and in the second element of the VStack we have a back button. So now if we navigate to engine room we have a back to previous button. The action on the back to previous button has path.removeAll, which empties this array, and therefore it takes it back to the root. And in addition we could add another button to our VStack here for the engine room screen. And so in the engine room screen we have a navigate to reactor room button, and that takes us to the reactor room by appending reactor room to the array. We could go back to the root using this, so this should actually say back to root. Let's take another look. We navigate to the engine room, then we click on the reactor room button to go to the reactor room, and now we can pop back to root. So that's programmatic navigation using navigation stack and path. So navigation path and navigation stack. And in the next part we'll go into dynamic navigation. Thanks for watching.